Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Glad you're in a good mood now. My goodness. I need to walk in here getting ready for Tech Tuesday with the camera on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And you'd go, wow,
First of all, I want to know if you got your lighter on you, because I'm prepared. Yeah. I'm ready if you are.
Inflammable, be careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
In case you missed it, that's cute. That's in regards to Sunday's Coffee with Conti. We were trying to do a little YouTube drama, get your attention, which we did. And that was really to Tommy's credit, who we flipped. As his dream car was a Ferrari 458.
Yeah?
And he said explicitly in that video, I'm a Corvette guy now. And he's got a C8 Z06. In fact, he got our last delivered to the dealership 23 Z06, the saga that's been going on and on and on. And my last, I honestly didn't think we were going to get it. I was looking at a report on Friday. I've got one at the museum to be delivered, our only second Z07 package of the whole year, actually in its entirety. Haven't even gotten one yet for 24 orders for Jeff and Wendy. And when I'm looking at the order on the sheet, number one, it hadn't been invoiced yet on Friday. And there was, all of a sudden, there was no longer an MSRP, and there was just hash marks. I'm like, oh,
here
crap.
we go.
Oh, yeah, this is not good, man. I mean, it's one of the 1,100 plus cars that have been sitting down there waiting for delivery. And then on Saturday, got invoiced, loaded on a truck, going across the street to the museum, and they should take delivery. We're hoping sometime this week or next week.
Wonderful.
And I'm hoping I get a chance to get there. Yeah, great people. And they track their cars, husband and wife tracking their cars. So he's got a Z06 that's non-Z07, and I think she's getting the Z07 one. So when they go to an event, I want to see who wins. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the questions. We're going to finish up tonight with a beautiful ride segment as well. We got a lot of questions. We didn't do a Tech Tuesday last week, as you know, so I'm sorry I can't get to all of them, but let's do what we can for you. I'm going to start real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Just a quick one. It's going to be something for you to answer. This comes from Carlos in Florida. Rick and Father Chuck, I hope you're doing well. Always value the opinions and information. Question in regards to the tire pressure for daily driving. Should we follow the GM recommendations of 30 PSI, which is the cold? It's inside the door jamb of your car. You don't know what PSI to put it in, but that's what he's referring to. It's 30 PSI when it's cold. What would you say for Carlos, or for situations when you have people coming in here for service?
When I have customers that arrive for service, look, as you drive the car, the tires build up heat, they grow, the tire pressure grows.
Right.
So when they come in for service, I don't know how far they've driven, if it's just across the street or if they've been on the road for a half hour. So when I change the oil, first service, or anything I do with the tires, I always set them to 32 pounds.
Okay.
For the simple fact that when you do take it home and it sits overnight, the pressure is going to decrease a little bit. So, yeah, when you're in for service, I usually set them between 31 and 32 because they have heat in the tires from being driven in. So,
yeah, and especially if you don't drive it frequently,
right,
then it will dissipate just a little bit. In fact, you just put air in my tires. Now, I drive every day, but I drive a very short distance, and mine were at like 26 pounds, and he put them at 31.5. But when I start the car in the morning, they're at 30.
Sure.
So thank you.
I usually try to stick with the tire manufacturer. When I have them in here as a used car that come in from off the lot that hasn't been driven, I usually set them at 30 and a half.
All right, good tip. Thanks, Carlos, for watching. We do appreciate it.
All right, this one comes from David. It says, I have a 2017 C7 Z51 Stingray, bought at 10,400 miles 2 years ago, and now have 14,800. What are the circumstances that would require the triple flush on the transmission?
Good question.
There's really no circumstance. I mean, the problem they were having with the cars is they had the wrong fluid in them. The fluid absorbs the moisture, then causes the transmission to feel like it's shuddering. And that usually happens if you scroll down on the driver information center where you can see where it switches from V8 to V4 mode. Usually you'll notice it more on light throttle in V4 mode. It's like you're going across the rumble strip. So that's the only criteria you would have to do the triple flush, is if you're getting that rumble strip sensation of going across the rumble strip.
Well, and it's important to note, too, that that would be for automatics only with a torque converter, so it's not manual transmissions.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we'd have guys come in here, we've had this question a lot, we've had these situations a lot.
Sure.
Even beyond our local area, people that are not getting it done at their local dealership, not understanding what that is.
Sure.
And it's around 45 to 55 miles an hour, too. They would get that, and you would feel that hesitation, that vibration in there. And when you put the right fluid in, they've changed the way you've done that procedure. We spent a lot of time over the years on this, process. As they change the procedure, he changes up and follows the instructions from GM.
Yep.
And I think they got it right now, the way that you're doing it. Before, it was really a cumbersome process.
Sure.
I mean, it took a long time, but the way they're doing it now, it seems like it's working pretty well.
Well, I mean, it's still kind of the same process per se, but the difference is the fluid.
Okay.
Because they've redesigned this fluid 2 times.
Yes.
So you got to get the and it's not just a triple or a drain and fill of the 4-course. You have to take all the transmission fluid out and put all new transmission fluid back in. Because I've had guys ask me that question. Well, can't I just do like a regular flush because it's cheaper? No, you cannot, because you're still leaving old fluid in there to mix with the new.
Yeah.
So you have to do the triple flush.
There is a reason for the procedure. You're watching Tech Tuesday. I'm Rick. He's Chuck. We'll be right back. Would you please keep that torch just a little bit further away?
Hey.
Dude, I did that bit Sunday. It was a little breezy, and it wasn't a Ferrari jacket. It was the illusion of being a Ferrari jacket. It was some kid's costume, and I'm trying to light this darn thing, and it wouldn't light. So I went down the street to the gas station, got some lighter fluid, and I had one take. Had I lit that thing, it was like, whoa, here we go. It's like, wow. Got my attention. A lot of questions coming in. We haven't just gotten a couple loads of 2024 Corvettes in, and behind us is a beautiful freaking Z06 for Josh and Amanda here in Ohio. Amplify Orange that you're in the process of prepping. The front trunk, the soft close, the new feature, and I got to tell you, I got to be me. A lot of people are making it a big deal. If I have the opportunity to switch into my 23. Number one, and you're going to explain, I don't think that you can. I don't think that I would. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Let me show you what I mean. We've played with this a few times, and if you want to help me demonstrate, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
a couple of times we've done this, it didn't work.
no, a couple of times it seems like the car has a mind of its own.
And here's the one thing. As soon as you open it, I want to get close so you can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, see, it sounds kind of clunky when it opens. And there's others,
You can hear it still going on.
Yeah, there's still some beeping motors going on. And all that
so
kind of
you
stuff.
don't just pop it and raise it up. You got to give it time to do its thing.
So most clients will grab this and actually just close it and expect it to pull down like your trunk does.
Right.
But on this, you've got to do what?
You put it down, it's got to hit the first click, and then it draws
And
it
I heard
down.
a beep. Now, the first time we tried this on the first load, you and I did this like 5-6 times and the darn thing wouldn't grab.
Well, I don't think we were waiting quite long enough to let it go through the process.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, we were just hitting the button and trying to open it up.
All right,
it
listen.
won't come open.
All right, so you got to wait for a second for it to release it. Okay, now listen for the beep. Get real close on your mic so that people can hear. I heard it.
Yeah, it's a slight beep. But yeah, if you give it time to do its thing, it works.
Right, so I'm talking about if you have a C8 2020 up to 2023, say you want to convert and get that in there. Sometimes you can't do some of the new features because it's software and hardware. This looks like it's mostly hardware, but tell the folks what they're looking at right now in regards to this schematic.
Oh no, it's hardware and software, because as you bring up the schematics, the one with all the stuff in it is for a C8 20 through 23.
Yep.
Then the last one is the smaller diagram, which just shows for the front trunk soft close.
Boy, it looks like
you
they
can see
moved
there's a whole lot less stuff in the 2024.
Yeah. So where the heck they move all the other crap to?
I don't know.
Okay, so
but I would say it probably cannot be done.
All right, there's a lot more involved than just changing out the latch, is basically what we're trying to tell you. So if you want to do it, you're a better man than I. Good luck to you. You're going to need it.
Yep.
Tech Tuesday continues. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, this one comes from Paul. It says, finally, after over a year waiting, I managed to pick up my 23 Hypersonic Gray Coupe last week. It's much better driving experience than I ever imagined. And a big thanks to you guys for all the information that I've learned about the car on Tech Tuesday segment before I took delivery.
Thank you.
Now for my Tech Tuesday question. On the passenger side towards the back of the engine is what looks like to me a PCV valve going into the intake manifold with a rubber line coming off of it. My issue is I'm hearing an excessive amount of air escaping from where the line connects to the valve, which I believe is creating a vacuum leak. I can push or pull on it and it will take a bit less. It will continue if I leave it alone. I see the plastic clip on the side. I tried carefully to pry on it to remove the line to check to see if there's a missing O-ring, but it didn't budge. Okay, first of all, if you look at this picture we're going to put up, the side on the right hand side, it looks like there's a clip that's sticking part way out. It's not a pry out. You actually squeeze that to release that off. So you'll want to carefully squeeze that on both sides, and it should come off.
I was just going to ask you, you squeeze it on both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So to take that off, you're going to, like I said, get down on both sides of it and squeeze it, and it should come off. You don't want to pry on it, because if you pry on it, you break it, then the line will have to be replaced.
Well, here's the other thing. He's got a 23. That'll be covered under warranty, but
Sure.
would that throw a code?
If it had a severe enough leak, you would think it would throw a lean code, yes. And
Okay.
as tight as they're monitoring these new systems,
Oh,
yeah, I would think it would throw a code, yes.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the question. Hopefully that helps you. Here's one from Brian. This is a good question, especially as we see guys getting their cars and buying some used C8s. I recently was one of the ones that had a complete failure of my 2020 C8 transmission. Luckily, it was still under factory warranty, so I didn't have to pay for the replacement. After getting the car back, very good question, very good scenario, so pay attention to this, guys. After getting the car back, okay, this is wrong, I was told I needed to wait 7,500 miles break-in before I could track the car again. If you're resetting with a new transmission, it's just like when you pick up the car new. That break-in for tracking is 1,500 miles. So no, I apologize, that is wrong. I take my car to track days regularly, good for you, and it was a huge disappointment, but better than paying for a new transmission. Here's a couple of questions regarding the new transmission that I have. Another good question, do I get the free 7,500 mile service because it was repaired under warranty? No, you've kind of reset that.
Right.
I would have to say if you hadn't done it already, then it would apply to the new one. So they're going to follow the VIN, not necessarily the transmission. So
Right.
it's a little complicated, but if it hasn't been done already, which it should have been done, and you're well past the 2 years being a 2020, so yeah, you're basically going to be out of pocket on
Right.
that one. And here's another good question, also relative to his new transmission. He added 2 additional quarts to the original transmission. Do I have to pay now to refill that for the replacement transmission? That should have been a conversation before they put their car back together, because you and I have done that many times.
Yes.
And that's the time to do it before you put it back up in the
but-
car.
Yeah, if they'd put those 2 extra liters, because there's no, it's not like it's going to leak out. They could have put the 2 extra liters of transmission fluid back in the transmission before they even put it back in the car.
Yes.
So since they did not, yeah, you're going to have to pay for it now.
You are going to have to pay for that. I'm asking these questions, he says, because my dealer doesn't have the answers, and I'm hoping that my car will be made whole again with this new transmission, or the repair actually is going to cost me more money out of pocket. It's going to cost you, man. So that's unfortunate. Thanks again for you and Chuck for what you do for the Corvette owners in the Corvette community. I do appreciate that. And by the way, new transmission went in. See, did he say how many miles are on when he got it? New transmission went in at 13,600 miles, in case anybody's asking. So thanks, Brian, for sharing that. So,
Yeah,
pay
that's
for it.
very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. But they gave you a little bit of the wrong information. So yeah, get the 2 quarts in there. You're doing tracking. Make sure you put the high temp brake fluid in as well, and have a better tracking experience. Good luck out there, man.
Well, and just to finish up on it, anything I do with the transmission, whether it's a first service or transmission replacement, this is a question I make the service advisor call and ask the customer.
Yes.
So that we can, yes, if he had the 2 extra liters, it's just a matter of paying for the 2 extra liters of fluid. Transmission is out on the ground. You unscrew the plug, dump it in, put the plug back in, so there is no labor.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the cost of the fluid.
Yeah, that's really just a courtesy and communication between the service writer, and you, the customer, and unfortunately that was broken down in your scenario.
All right, this one comes from Marty. It says, great job on Tech Tip Tuesday. Right to the point. I have a 23 non-Z51 package, and I don't have extra liters of fluid in the transmission.
Right on topic.
Yeah, if I decide to change the canister filter myself, must any transmission fluid be put back in? As I understand, not much leaks out. Not much does leak out. It's only 6 to 8 ounces of fluid. But with these transmissions, the last thing you want to do is run them low on fluid.
Right.
So yes, I suggest, like I said, the process is you take them off the ground, the rear tires, you run them in gear for 3 to 5 minutes to force the transmission fluid back into clutch packs, shut it down, take the plug out, top it off. Yeah. The last thing you want to do is run it low, even if it's only 6 to 8 ounces low.
That's actually part of the procedure, especially in your first service, is not only changing out the canister filter, but is to top off the fluid. And there's, again, not much loss, but it's nice just to keep that as full as you possibly can.
Sure.
All right, got a little shop noise going on in the background. Just want to remind you guys, tomorrow, if you're in the area, come by, say hi, or come by and participate in your intro to tracking at the NCM Motorsports Park. It's the Corvette experience. I'm participating in the first session at 10 o'clock, and then I'm going to hang out with you guys for the day, getting your reactions as you discover really what your car was designed for. And that'll be on a future Tech Tuesday or an actual Sunday Coffee with Conti episode. It's important to talk about tracking, but also the experiences of ownership and really how you can extend that by driving your car on the track. Also, the 555 fall drive that we did that you didn't attend is wonderful. I'm just starting to comb through the footage, and oh my gosh, we've got angles from like 8 different cameras. I don't know if I'll have it up for this Sunday, but it's coming soon. That's all I got to tell you. Tech Tuesday continues. Are you up next or am I?
You are.
I am. Okay, I'm paying attention. Thank you. This comes from Randy. Rick and Chuck, I have a 23 C8 Z51 that I purchased in February. My question is, can you tell me that what those parts are in the trunk that the dealer has to install? The reason I ask is that we noticed a small ding in the trunk hatch that appears to have come from the inside out. We noticed this when we picked up the car with 30 miles on it. We've been in contact with GM executives and have no answers. Let me stop right there. Stop wasting your time. You're not going to get an answer. That's not their job, okay? Go to your dealership. This guy is the one that would help you in your dealership sales and your service entity. That's what you have a warranty for. You're not going to get an, they don't have time to answer this kind of stuff. They really don't. It's when they're not doing their job or they do a bad job, that's when you reach out to these guys. But when you have a service issue, a warranty issue, you go to the dealership. And here, because he's not getting an answer, he's now assuming. He says, I guess they don't want to resolve the issue because there's numerous paint defects as well. Take it to your dealership. That's where that needs to be addressed, right here at the dealership level. And if not, then your next step would be to go to another dealer before you contact the GM executives. Really, truly, let the warranty work for you guys, seriously. I'll be watching Tech Tuesday to see if you have any answers. There you go, Randy. Hopefully that helps you, man. Thanks for watching.
All right, this one comes from Mike. It says, hi, Rick and Chuck, the GOAT of Corvette service. Thank you.
The greatest of all time. My goodness. Not only the star of Tech Tuesday, he is the greatest of all time.
Don't forget, I've been graduated to a Cardinal as well.
Oh, so. I know. It's an honor to sit next to you.
Yeah. All right, just had my first service completed. My local dealer's Corvette tech said that he doesn't do anything special prior to replacing the DCT canister filter other than warming the car up. This is similar to what I've seen on the popular YouTuber site. However, I've read in a few Corvette forums and Facebook groups that prior to replacing the transmission, there's an actual process or procedure that must be performed that requires hooking the car up to a scan tool. So Chuck, what is the correct GM recommended way to replace the DCT filter? And if there is an actual flush type procedure required prior to replacing this filter, is it only the first oil change or do you do it every filter change? All right, this is where it kind of gets lost in communication, the flush. When people think of flush, you're actually taking fluid out and putting fluid back in. That is not correct.
Right.
However, with the scan tool hooked up, there is a special flush procedure you're supposed to do on the transmission. It runs all the transmission fluid back through the filter to help collect all the debris, then you replace the filter. So yes, there is a flush procedure, but it's not requiring any fluid. What it is, mechanically and electronically, you put the transmission in the flush procedure. It flushes all the fluid in the transmission through the filter, then you replace the filter. There's a lot electronically you can do with these transmissions.
Yes.
I can pressure test this transmission with the scan tool by running it. I can leak check. There's a lot of things you can do, but yes, prior to replacing this DCT filter, you're supposed to do this flush procedure.
That's what I was going to say. I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a lot more computers and electronics involved in this transmission than there is mechanical. I mean, they work together, but going back to what Michael was talking about, I would say you would have to do that every time that you change that DCT canister filter.
If you bring up the procedure in service information for the DCT filter, the first thing they want you to do is this flush procedure, but just realize it's not flush procedure where you're changing fluid and putting new fluid in. You're just running the fluid that's in the transmission through the filter so it catches all the debris, then you replace the filter.
Yeah, and that filter is key to maintaining that transmission.
Absolutely.
My gosh. Here's one from Todd, just ideas, and thanks for the channel to you and Chuck. Because I just paused this episode of Tech Tuesday to pitch you an idea. We're seeing a lot of used C8s hit the marketplace. Rick, I think that you are in a unique position to answer some of these questions based on your experience. What are some of the common reasons people are trading in, trading up, or basically just getting into a used C8? There's a number of reasons. Sometimes they bought something used, they end up ordering something new that they wanted. Sometimes they're in a coupe, they want to go to a convertible. Sometimes they're in a convertible, want to go to a coupe. Sometimes they're in a non-Z51, want to go to a Z51. Sometimes it's simply just to change color. And because the market's been so strong, it allows you, with minimal expense, to actually do that and trade the car. So that's one of the reasons a lot of guys do that. What are the common cars you see people trading in or simply coming in from C8, kind of what I just talked about, you know, the coupe versus convertible thing. We are seeing, I mean, just nationwide you're seeing it, but we're seeing a lot of people go for the convertible. Once you get past the, hey, it's a mid-engine, I really like looking at the engine, I hope you really like cleaning it too. But if you use your car every day like I, is one of the main reasons, and there's a number of them, but one of the reasons I end up getting a convertible, because I drive it every day and I don't have time to maintain that engine bay area. It is the focal point of the car, and when you walk up to it, you're like, oh, come on, man.
Not only that, for as much as you travel and the crap you haul around in the trunk, if you had a coupe, it'd either be stow your top or not have anything in the trunk.
No, exactly, yeah, that's one of the other reasons, and they continue to mount in the defense, and the reason for the C8 hardtop convertible selling now at a record rate for Corvette sales. Thanks, you guys, I appreciate that, and thank you, GM, for an awesome product. Anyway, I'm anxiously awaiting my allocation allotment. I'm immersed in YouTube and other sources, all things C8. You, sir, are on the top of the list. Hey, thanks for that. You represent the Corvette community and what it's all about. You've enlightened me sometimes, amused me, but most importantly, you inspire all of us with your passion for America's supercar. One last note, several other YouTubers who will remain nameless have me on the brink of insanity trying to watch their videos. They spend the first half of the video shilling out a contest or soliciting likes. I'd tell you about the other half of the video, but I usually don't make it that far. It drives me freaking nuts. It's like, this is a great analogy. It's like going to a restaurant and the waitress asks for a tip before you even order. Here's my point. I appreciate the subtlety and the tact in your videos with you and Chuck. As a result, you are my only C8 channel subscription, and I make it a point to watch all the videos. Hope to meet you when I get my C8. We might have an opportunity to do business. Maybe I can help you, Todd. Thanks for watching the channel and that kind feedback. It really means a lot, man.
Absolutely. You guys are the reason we do it.
Yes.
All right, this one comes from Ted. It says, I have a 21 C8 3LT. I've attended car shows where there were a huge number of Corvettes. I was approached by several of the owners of the C7 and C8, and they talked to me about the Napa leather dash and asked if I've had any problems with it, like shrinking or bubbling up. I haven't as of yet, but they indicated there's been an ongoing problem with the Napa leather. Dash is doing that. In fact, one C7 owner had his dash replaced when it was under warranty 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an issue.
Yes, still is.
Still is.
Yep. He's had many of them. He's had to change the dash out. It's not a pretty sight. Don't go in to see your car being worked on when that's getting done.
No.
That'll freak you out. And yeah, you got to do that. And we've talked about it in past episodes. If you're in a warmer climate, get a really good ceramic tint on the window. Also use a window shade to help protect that. I mean, that's the only advice I can give you. I use a window shade a lot, but we see that from a lot of southern state clients.
Sure.
Arizona, Texas, California, Florida. Yeah, you got to watch that. Even up here in Ohio, we get a lot of heat, we get a lot of humidity, and if it's out in the sun a lot and it's not protected, yeah, you're going to get that. It's a thin layer of leather that's beautiful, very, very supple and classy, but it also starts to delaminate, and that's what happens when it's in the sun for a long period of time. We even had in the C7s, talking to delamination, the inside roof liner. Remember how some of those would fall down and they had to change the glue, so you put that back in there? Just different things that happen. So unfortunately, yeah, that's the case. So if that starts happening, and it's usually up over by the head-up display or somewhere, and it's really close to the windshield, it's never really far back, it's right up in there, and once it starts, it just continues, unfortunately.
Yep, around the heads-up display or defroster vent.
Oh yeah, defroster vent as well. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for watching, you guys. We have a lot more to get to. We'll try to do some more for you next week. We like to finish up after we're done talking cars. We love showing off cars. What do we got?
Your beautiful rides.
See, he's been here before. He's done it. You
Once
guys
or
have
twice.
too. Yeah. Subscribe to this channel. Thumbs up this video. Now's the time to ask you to subscribe. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Hit the bell notification. Make some comments down below. We'll see you guys soon.
too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one, and I can't wait to see you hindsight is fleeting when your heart's bleeding and all you can see is red, till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead, 'cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one, and I can't wait to see you again. Oh, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait, 'cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one,